What if the leap of faith is the key to building mental toughness? Kierkegaard's Guide to Overcoming Fear. What if the very thing you fear the most is the key to unlocking your greatest strength? What if, in the depths of your darkest moments, there lies the potential to become someone you never thought you could be? Søren Kierkegaard, the philosopher who plunged into the heart of fear and doubt, knew this truth: that mental toughness isn't something you simply develop by avoiding fear. It is something forged through it. But here's the paradox. The more you try to control fear, the more it controls you. The key, according to Kierkegaard, is not to avoid the leap of faith, but to take it. To step into the unknown, to embrace uncertainty, to trust that on the other side of fear lies a strength far greater than anything you've ever known. Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to truly overcome your fear? To stand face to face with it, not run away, and yet come out stronger on the other side? Kierkegaard called it the leap of faith. A leap that doesn't require evidence, doesn't offer guarantees, and doesn't promise comfort. It simply asks you to trust. To trust that your own courage, your own resolve, is enough. And it is through this trust, this surrender to the unknown, that your mental toughness is built. Can you imagine it? Stepping into uncertainty, knowing that your strength will be tested, but trusting that you will not break? That, my friend, is the essence of the leap of faith. But why does it feel so impossible? Why do we hesitate at the very idea of taking that leap? The answer is simple: fear. Fear of failure. Fear of the unknown. Fear of being vulnerable. And yet, Kierkegaard would argue, it is precisely through this fear that we find our true selves. It is through this leap, where the ground beneath you is unsteady and the outcome is uncertain, that you learn what you are truly capable of. This is not a weakness. This is the birthplace of your strength. What if I told you that everything you have been running from, every fear, every doubt, every insecurity, is the very thing that can propel you forward into the strongest version of yourself? Kierkegaard knew this well. He didn't view fear as an obstacle to avoid. He saw it as a signal that you are on the verge of transformation, on the edge of discovering something new about yourself. And to step forward into that transformation, you must take the leap. Because only in that leap will you find what it means to truly trust yourself, and only in that trust will your mental toughness be built. So, let's ask the question once more. What if the leap of faith is the key to building mental toughness? What if every fear you face, every challenge you endure is an opportunity to grow stronger? Kierkegaard believed that mental toughness comes not from avoiding fear, but from facing it head-on, with courage and conviction. And the leap of faith is not about knowing what's on the other side. It's about knowing that, no matter what happens, you will have the strength to handle it. It is in this courage, this willingness to take the leap despite your fear, that you will build the mental toughness that will carry you through even the toughest moments of your life. Are you ready to take that leap? Are you ready to trust in yourself and embrace the unknown, knowing that on the other side lies your true strength? If you are, then take that step today. Don't wait for fear to dissipate. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The moment is now. The leap is yours to take, will you? As you stand at the precipice, the winds of fear rush at you, biting and cold. They try to push you back, to remind you of all the reasons why you should stay exactly where you are. The voice of doubt whispers, what if you fail? What if you fall? What if everything crumbles around you? But in this moment, you are faced with the ultimate choice. Do you retreat into safety, or do you take the leap? This is the very essence of Søren Kierkegaard's philosophy, the leap of faith. It is not the absence of fear, but the acceptance of it. It is the act of trusting yourself even when the path ahead is unclear, uncertain, and fraught with risks. The leap of faith isn't about having all the answers. It isn't about waiting until you feel completely ready. In fact, it's the opposite. It's about stepping forward despite the fear, despite the doubt, despite the very real possibility of failure. Why? Because it is in this very act that mental toughness is born. Kierkegaard knew that true courage doesn't come from avoiding the hard choices. It comes from making them anyway, trusting that even if you stumble, you will rise stronger. In the leap, there is growth, there is strength, but only if you take it. If you stand still, you remain in the shadow of your fears, never realizing what lies beyond. But why does the leap feel so terrifying? Why does it seem like the ground below you might give way at any moment? Because it is precisely in that moment of surrender, that moment when you let go of the need for control and certainty, that you are forced to confront your deepest fears. The fear of failure, the fear of being vulnerable, the fear of the unknown. It's an uncomfortable, raw experience, but it's also the only way to build true mental resilience. Mental toughness doesn't come from smooth paths or easy victories. It is forged in the crucible of uncertainty, in the moments where you have to trust yourself and your abilities, even when the outcome is unclear. Think about it. How many times have you avoided a difficult situation because you feared the potential consequences? How many opportunities have you missed because you didn't want to face the discomfort of not knowing what would happen next? In those moments, you believed that safety and control were the only ways to protect yourself. But in reality, it's the very avoidance of risk, the refusal to take that leap, that keeps you trapped in a life of mediocrity. The greatest growth comes from the moments when you step out of your comfort zone, when you allow yourself to leap into the unknown. And yet, despite all of this, the fear remains, the doubt remains. It's almost as if the closer you get to making the leap, the louder the voice of fear becomes. But here's the truth. The fear doesn't go away. It never will. Fear is a part of being human, but what you can control is how you respond to it. You can either allow it to paralyze you, to keep you locked in a cycle of hesitation and uncertainty, or you can acknowledge it, accept it, and still take that leap. In this choice, Kierkegaard found the essence of true strength. Mental toughness isn't about eliminating fear. It's about choosing to move forward with it. At this moment, you must ask yourself, what would it take for you to trust yourself fully? What would it look like if, for once, you embraced the unknown, knowing that whatever happens, you have the ability to handle it? What if you stopped trying to control every outcome and simply allowed yourself to be, to leap, to fail, and to learn from it? Because here's the paradox. It is through failure that you build resilience. The more you expose yourself to discomfort, to fear, to the unknown, the more you develop the mental fortitude to overcome anything that comes your way. The leap of faith, then, is not just a single act. It's a practice of stepping into uncertainty over and over again, learning to trust in yourself, in your ability to rise above, no matter the challenges you face. This is where true mental toughness is built. It's built in the small, everyday leaps, those moments when you choose to push through the discomfort, to take a risk, to trust yourself even when it feels like the world is conspiring against you. With every leap, you grow stronger, more confident, more resilient, and the more you leap, the less fear has control over you. But don't be fooled. This journey is not easy. The leap of faith is not some simple solution to your struggles. It is a deep, challenging, transformative process, and it will take everything you have. But it is also the most powerful thing you can do for yourself. Because in the end, it's the only way to create the mental toughness you seek. It's the only way to build the inner strength that will carry you through life's toughest moments. You are the one who decides if you will continue to stay on the sidelines letting fear control you, or if you will take the leap, trusting that in doing so, you will become the strongest version of yourself. So, ask yourself now, what is holding you back from taking that leap? What are you afraid of? And more importantly, what could your life look like if you stopped letting fear control you? The leap of faith is waiting for you, and it's only by taking it that you will find the mental toughness you're searching for. You can do this. Trust in yourself. Trust that the leap will lead you to places you never imagined. It's time to jump. The moment you take the leap, everything changes. The ground beneath you may still seem distant, and the abyss may stretch out before you, vast and endless. But in that moment of free fall, something incredible happens. Your mind, once clouded with fear and doubt, begins to clear. The adrenaline surges and you realize that the true power lies not in avoiding the leap, but in the act of jumping itself. It is in this very act that you find clarity, strength, and a sense of purpose that you never knew existed. The leap forces you to rely on yourself, to trust that you have the ability to handle whatever comes your way. It is the moment you stop being passive in your life and become active, choosing to step into the unknown with the courage of your convictions. But as you continue to fall, you may wonder, what if I crash? What if the ground never comes? It is in these questions, in these moments of doubt, that you truly begin to understand the nature of mental toughness. It is not about being fearless. It is about moving forward despite the fear. The very act of leaping into the unknown builds resilience. The courage to face the unknown and keep moving, even when you don't have all the answers, is the essence of mental strength. Mental toughness isn't a trait you are born with. It is a muscle you build, one leap at a time. Every time you push past your fear, every time you rise after a fall, you grow stronger. And the more you trust yourself, the more you will realize that the jump is never as terrifying as it first seems. At first, it's easy to think of the leap as a singular event, a moment of great courage or recklessness. But in truth, it is an ongoing journey. Each leap takes you deeper into your own potential, unlocking new layers of strength and resilience you never thought you had. The more you leap, the more you build mental toughness, and the more you realize that fear is just another tool in your toolkit. It no longer controls you. You control it. You can channel it, use it as fuel, and push yourself to new heights. The leap of faith is not an isolated event, but a lifestyle, one that empowers you to step into your greatness time and time again. The beauty of the leap lies not just in the destination, but in the process. It is through the struggle, through the uncertainty, that we discover who we are. The moments of vulnerability, of fear, and of doubt are the crucible in which our character is forged. When you embrace the leap, when you welcome the unknown, you unlock the potential to become someone entirely new. You become a person who is not defined by the obstacles in their path, but by the way they respond to them. You become someone who is willing to trust in themselves and their journey, no matter where it takes them. And so, the question you must ask yourself is this: are you ready to take the leap? Are you ready to trust that the fear you feel is not a sign of weakness, but an invitation to grow? Because the leap is waiting. It will be uncomfortable. It will test your limits. But on the other side, you will find the mental toughness you've been searching for. The leap is not just a moment in time, it is the beginning of your transformation. And you will never know what you are truly capable of until you take that first step. So, what are you waiting for? The leap is calling. Will you answer? As you stand on the edge, ready to take the leap, you feel that familiar rush of fear. It's a feeling that has held you back for so long, a feeling that has made you question your own ability to rise above the challenges in front of you. But now, as you prepare to leap, you realize something profound. The fear is not your enemy. It is the catalyst for your transformation. The moment you decide to step into the unknown, you are already changing. The leap doesn't just move you from one place to another. It propels you into a new version of yourself, one that is stronger, more resilient, more capable of facing whatever life throws your way. But here's the thing: that feeling of fear will never fully dissipate. It will always be there, lurking in the background, reminding you of your vulnerability. The difference now is that you are no longer afraid of it. Instead, you see it for what it is: a necessary companion in your journey. It's only by facing your fear, by embracing it and pushing past it, that you unlock your true potential. Fear, in its rawest form, becomes your teacher, your motivator, your guide. Without it, there is no growth. Without it, there is no leap. And without the leap, there is no mental toughness. The leap isn't just about physical action, it's a shift in your mindset. It's about moving from a place of self-doubt to a place of trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in your abilities. Trust in your resilience. You may not know what will happen on the other side of the leap, and that's okay. What matters is that you are willing to take the step, to embrace the uncertainty and to believe that no matter what, you will be okay. You will handle whatever comes next. And with each leap, that trust grows. It becomes ingrained in the fabric of who you are, shaping you into someone who sees every challenge not as an obstacle, but as an opportunity to grow stronger. As you make the leap, there is a moment of weightlessness, the briefest instant, where you are suspended in the air, where time seems to slow and everything becomes clear. In that moment, you realize that you are not falling. You are flying. Flying into your own potential, into the person you were always meant to be. The leap may have started with fear, but now it is filled with freedom. It's the freedom that comes from knowing you have the power to face whatever comes your way. And it's in this freedom that your mental toughness is forged. The leap is not just a one-time event. It is a continual process of rising above, of embracing the fear, of trusting yourself again and again. With each leap, you redefine what you are capable of. And now, as you reach the other side, you feel it. The strength you've been building all along. It's not an external force, not something that can be measured or quantified. It's something deeper, something internal, that comes from choosing to face the unknown, to leap despite the fear. This is the strength that Kierkegaard spoke of, the strength that comes not from certainty but from embracing the uncertainty and trusting that you have what it takes to navigate it. This is the mental toughness that will carry you through life's challenges, that will keep you going even when the path ahead seems unclear. And it all began with the leap. As you land, your feet touch the ground with a solid thud, and for a moment the world stands still. The dust of your jump settles around you and you stand there, on the other side of your fear, looking back at the abyss you once feared so deeply. In that brief silence, there is an overwhelming realization. The leap was not the end, but the beginning. You have just crossed the threshold into a new phase of your life, one where fear no longer holds dominion over you. The leap you took wasn't just a physical action. It was the manifestation of everything you have ever wanted to become. Someone who chooses courage over comfort, strength over doubt, and action over inaction. You see, the leap doesn't simply change the external world around you. It changes you. It reshapes your very perception of what is possible. But this is where the real journey begins. The feeling of triumph. The rush of overcoming fear. It's all part of the process, but it's only temporary. The question now becomes, what will you do with this newfound power? Will you let it slip through your fingers, or will you continue to move forward, embracing the next challenge, the next leap? The truth is, each leap you take builds upon the last, each one strengthening the foundation of mental toughness you are creating within yourself. But the beauty of the leap lies not in its singularity, but in its continuity. With each step into the unknown, with each leap into uncertainty, you are continuously tested, continuously reshaped. What Kierkegaard understood was that faith, and by extension mental toughness, is not something you can possess in one moment and then let go of the next. It is a practice, a constant choice. The leap of faith is not just about taking one bold step and expecting everything to fall into place. It's about committing to that leap every single day. It's about choosing to live in the tension between fear and courage, between doubt and conviction, and knowing that the only way to survive in that space is to keep leaping. The truth about mental toughness is that it is forged in the very act of leaping over and over again, no matter how many times you fall, no matter how many times you question yourself. It's a brutal truth, but it is the truth nonetheless. The real work begins when the excitement of the leap fades. It's when the fear tries to creep back in, when the old doubts resurface, that you realize just how much you have grown. Because growth doesn't happen in moments of triumph. It happens in the moments that come afterward, in the moments when you must choose again to leap, to move forward despite everything that tries to hold you back. That's where the true strength is. It's in that continual choosing of courage, in that refusal to allow fear to dictate your actions, that mental toughness is built. And it's in these small, seemingly insignificant moments of choice that you become the person you are meant to be. But here's the twist. As you leap and as you grow, You will eventually find that you are not just overcoming fear, you are learning to trust yourself. You are learning that the leap, while daunting, is not the enemy. The leap is an expression of your ability to trust in your own capabilities, to trust that no matter what, you will rise again. It's not just the act of jumping that creates toughness. It's the belief that you have the strength to survive the fall. It's the internal knowing that no matter how many times you stumble, you have the power to get back up and try again. The mental toughness comes not from avoiding failure, but from embracing it, from seeing each failure as a stepping stone towards something greater. And so, with each leap you take, you begin to create a new narrative. It's a narrative where fear no longer controls you. It's a narrative where the unknown no longer paralyzes you. And it's in this new narrative, this new story of resilience, that you will find your true strength. You will discover that mental toughness isn't something that is just given to a select few. It is something that you can cultivate within yourself, step by step, leap by leap. The key is not to seek a life free of fear. The key is to seek a life where you face fear head-on, knowing that with every leap, you are becoming the person you were always meant to be. This journey is not about a final destination. It's about the process, the constant choice to leap, to trust, to grow. So I ask you again, what's holding you back from taking that next leap? The fear, the doubt, the uncertainty. They will always be there. But with every leap you take, they lose their grip on you. They become smaller, less significant. Because each time you leap, you prove to yourself that you are capable, that you can handle whatever comes next. So take that next leap. Trust that you have everything you need to succeed, and if you don't, trust that you will find it on the way down. And remember, every leap counts. Every time you choose to act in spite of your fear, you are building the mental toughness that will carry you through life's hardest moments. Don't wait for fear to disappear. It never will. But in the act of leaping, you will discover something far greater. The strength that has always been inside you, waiting to be awakened. The time to leap is now. Will you answer the call? With every leap you take, the fear becomes less of a threat and more of an ally. At first, it will feel like an overwhelming force, pulling you back, whispering doubts in your ear. But with each jump, you learn its rhythm. You start to understand its patterns, and most importantly, you learn how to use it to your advantage. Fear, once a paralyzing force, transforms into the very thing that propels you forward. This is where true mental toughness is found, not in a life without fear, but in the ability to move through it, to push beyond it, and to emerge stronger each time. It is in this journey, the constant battle of leaping again and again, that you begin to reshape your very identity. There's something magical that happens when you embrace fear as a part of your process. The leap no longer feels like an act of desperation. It becomes an act of deliberate creation. You stop running from uncertainty and start dancing with it. You begin to see that each leap, each moment of discomfort, is building you into a version of yourself that is more resilient, more resourceful, and far more capable than you ever imagined. And with every leap, the doubts you once had begin to fade. They shrink because they are no longer fed by your fear. Instead, they are replaced by a quiet confidence, the kind of confidence that comes from knowing deep down that you have the strength to handle whatever comes next. But here's the challenge. As you leap, you may find that the jump isn't always smooth. There will be moments where you fall, moments where you feel like the ground beneath you is slipping away. But in those moments, in the midst of the fall, you will also discover something else, the ability to catch yourself. You will learn that failure is not the end of the journey, but just another step along the way. In fact, it's often through the falls that you learn the most about yourself. It's when you hit the ground and rise again that you realize the true extent of your mental toughness. You see, the fall isn't something to fear. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to prove that no matter how many times you get knocked down, you can always stand back up and keep moving forward. And so you start to realize that the leap isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. It's about the process of growing stronger with each step, each decision, each moment of doubt that you overcome. The leap of faith is not just a one-time act. It is the ongoing process of choosing to face your fears, to move through them, and to build the mental toughness necessary to thrive in any circumstance. Each leap is a choice to trust in yourself, to believe that no matter what happens, you will be okay. It's in this trust that you find the true power of the leap. At some point, you will reach a tipping point, a place where the leaps are no longer terrifying, where the fear no longer paralyzes you. It will become second nature to leap, to trust, to step into the unknown. The world will still throw challenges your way, and fear will still be present. But you will have learned how to use it to your advantage. You will have learned how to move through the chaos, how to trust the process, and how to rise every time you fall. And in this mastery, you will discover the true meaning of mental toughness, not as an absence of fear, but as the ability to move forward despite it, to keep leaping and to keep growing. So ask yourself, what would your life look like if you chose to leap over and over again? What if you allowed fear to guide you, not as a hindrance, but as a signal to grow, to evolve, to push beyond your limitations? Each leap you take will bring you closer to the version of yourself that you were always meant to be. And each time you embrace the uncertainty, the fear, and the challenge, you will grow stronger, more confident, and more capable. The leap is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of your transformation, and you are more than ready. As you continue leaping into the unknown, something begins to shift. At first, it feels like you're constantly battling your fear, but with each jump, you notice a change within yourself. Fear, once an enemy, now becomes a signal, a reminder that growth is happening, that you are stepping into new territory, into the very areas of life where your true potential is waiting to be unlocked. The more you leap, the more you trust. The more you trust, the less control you need. It's almost as if you begin to realize that not knowing what comes next is the ultimate freedom. It's a paradox. The more you let go of needing answers, the more you receive them, not in words, but in actions. You start seeing your own resilience reflected in the way you move through challenges. Your toughness isn't about how many times you get knocked down, but how you stand up each time with greater resolve. This isn't an abstract theory anymore, is it? The leap you're taking right now is no longer something distant or theoretical. It is becoming your reality. You begin to sense that every leap you take has its own rhythm, its own pace. There will be times when you fall and times when you soar, but through it all, you will learn that neither defines you. It is the act of leaping, of trusting yourself through every moment of uncertainty, that shapes the core of who you are. Each leap strips away the old narratives, the old fears, and leaves you with something powerful. The unshakable belief that no matter what happens, you have everything you need within you to face it. The real power of the leap lies in your willingness to face the fear each time it shows up. Fear doesn't disappear. It simply becomes less of a barrier and more of a guide. With every step you take into the unknown, fear becomes a messenger, pointing you toward what you must do next. Instead of resisting it, you learn to walk alongside it, using it to fuel your next move. This is the essence of mental toughness. Not ignoring your emotions or pretending that fear doesn't exist, but accepting them and moving forward anyway. Each leap sharpens your focus and strengthens your resolve. You begin to understand that the leap doesn't always lead to success, but to growth, and that growth is priceless. But here's the secret. With each leap you take, you become less dependent on external validation. No longer do you need to prove yourself to anyone else. The leap, in all its uncertainty and risk, becomes the ultimate act of self-validation. You prove to yourself time and time again that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you are strong enough to face whatever comes next. And that confidence, the quiet, unshakable kind, is what will carry you through everything life throws your way. The more you leap, the more you will come to realize that you are not defined by your circumstances, but by how you choose to respond to them. And this realization will give you the freedom to take even greater leaps in the future. And so, the question becomes not whether you will leap again, but how far you are willing to go. How much of your fear are you willing to embrace? How many times will you trust that you have the strength to rise after each fall? The leap is not a destination. It is a journey, a constant unfolding of your own strength, resilience, and ability to grow. The more you leap, the more you become someone who faces fear, not with hesitation, but with curiosity. The leap is a declaration to the world and to yourself. I am not afraid, I will leap, and I will rise. So now that you understand the power of the leap, ask yourself, what's stopping you from taking your next one? What fears, what doubts, what excuses have been holding you back? The leap is waiting, and on the other side is a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. The question isn't whether you'll take it. The question is, when will you choose to take it? The choice is yours. Now that you've seen the power of the leap, you're at a crossroads. You've felt the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, and you've also felt the exhilaration, the strength, the freedom that comes when you trust yourself enough to jump. But here's the thing. The leap doesn't stop here. Every moment in your life is an opportunity to take that next leap. It's a choice you get to make every single day. You've discovered the mental toughness that comes from embracing fear, from trusting in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. Now it's time to take that trust and turn it into action. The world is full of opportunities waiting for you to leap into them. Whether it's a new challenge, a new goal, or a new dream, every leap you take is an opportunity for growth. So I'm asking you, what leap will you take today? Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel completely ready, because that moment may never come. The only moment that matters is now. Take the leap. Trust yourself, and when you do, remember that every leap brings you one step closer to becoming the person you were meant to be. If you're ready to take your next leap and start building the mental toughness that will carry you through life's challenges, join me on this journey. Subscribe, share this message with those who need it, and begin your transformation today. The time to leap is now. Will you make it?